These are the things my husband never has to ask me for. Because real rules in a relationship, they're not written down, they're lived. They're called respect. Let's talk about it. People always ask me, do you and your husband have rules in your marriage? And the answer is yes, but not in the way people think. We're not sitting there like it's some corporate meeting, writing policies and negotiating boundaries like contracts. We didn't have to debate what's acceptable. We didn't have to argue over basic behavior, because when two people are mature, a lot of things don't need to be said out loud. You just know. When you truly love someone, you don't move in ways that test the relationship. You move in ways that protect it. And I already know this mindset triggers people. Because today, people want marriage-level security while still living a single-person lifestyle. They want loyalty, but still want attention from the outside. They want commitment, but keep backup options. They want a safe partner, but still crave validation from everyone else. And when someone calls that out, they label it controlling. No, that's not control. That's refusing chaos. So let me tell you something honestly. These are the things my husband never has to ask me for, because they're already handled. First, he never has to question my loyalty. Not because he checks, but because of how I move. I don't entertain other men. I don't keep just friends with hidden intentions. I don't reply to flirty messages pretending it's harmless. Because let's be real, we all know when attention has intention behind it. Loyalty is not just, I didn't cheat. Loyalty is your behavior, your energy, how you present yourself, how you respond to people, how quickly you shut doors that shouldn't be open. When I committed to my husband, every other door closed, emotionally, mentally, physically. And because of that, he never has to wonder. And that kind of certainty? It changes how a man shows up for you. Second, he never has to ask for my phone, because there's nothing to hide. No deleted messages, no secret conversations, no harmless connections with a history behind them. And let's clear something up. Privacy and secrecy are not the same thing. Privacy is having your own thoughts, your own space. Secrecy is hiding behavior you know would hurt your partner. If your partner asking for your phone makes your stomach drop, that feeling is your answer. My husband doesn't need to investigate me, because I don't move in a way that creates doubt. Third, he never has to ask where I am or who I'm with, because I tell him. Not because I need permission, but because I respect him. And I understand something a lot of people ignore. Transparency creates peace. Secrecy creates anxiety. If my plans change, he knows. If I'm running late, he knows. That's not control. That's consideration. Marriage is a different lifestyle. Just like getting fit requires discipline. Just like building success requires consistency. A strong relationship requires intention. You cannot live like you're single and expect a peaceful, committed relationship. It doesn't work. Fourth, he never has to ask me to avoid bad situations, because I don't put myself in them. I don't surround myself with environments that invite disrespect. I don't blur lines. I don't test boundaries. And here's something people don't like hearing. Most betrayal doesn't start with bad intentions. It starts with the wrong environment, the wrong moment, the wrong attention at the wrong time. All it takes is one moment of weakness. So no, I don't play with situations that risk everything I've built, because protecting the relationship is more important than temporary excitement. And let's be honest, if he was doing those same things, would you be okay with it? Exactly. Fifth, he never has to ask me to respect him publicly. I don't embarrass him. I don't speak negatively about him to others. I don't run to people outside the relationship with our problems. If there's an issue, I bring it to him. Because some people don't want solutions. They want validation. They want allies. But respect protects intimacy. Sixth, He never has to ask me to communicate. I don't do silent treatment. I don't play guessing games. I don't expect him to just know. If something bothers me, I say it calmly, directly, respectfully, because resentment doesn't destroy relationships overnight. It builds quietly until it does. Seventh, he never has to ask me to take care of myself. I don't stop putting in effort. I take care of my health, my appearance, my energy, not for the world, for myself, for him, and for us. Because attraction matters. Love doesn't replace effort. Marriage is not the finish line, it's the maintenance. Eighth, he never has to ask me to protect our image. I don't act single online. I don't seek outside validation. I don't entertain attention just to feel good. Because constant validation becomes addiction, and addiction eventually destroys what's real. Ninth, he never has to ask me to prioritize the relationship. He comes first, before distractions, before outside noise, before unnecessary drama. That doesn't mean losing individuality. It means understanding priority. Strong relationships don't happen by accident. They're chosen. Daily. 10th, he never has to ask me to be emotionally safe. I don't weaponize feelings. I don't attack to win arguments. I don't use words to hurt. Because when someone feels unsafe emotionally, they stop opening up. And then people wonder why communication disappears. It's not random. It's learned. 11th, he never has to compete with me because I'm not trying to dominate the relationship. I want partnership, not power struggle. You can't reject strength and then complain about not feeling protected. It doesn't work like that. And finally, he never has to ask me for consistency because I don't love based on mood. I don't go hot and cold. I don't withhold affection. Consistency creates security, and security creates peace. And here's the truth most people avoid. When you live with standards like this, you don't beg for respect. You attract it. When you move with loyalty, you receive loyalty. When you move with honesty, you build trust. When you protect the relationship protects you. Low standards create chaos. High standards create peace. And peace? Peace is the real flex. Not drama, not emotional roller coasters. Peace. Because chaos feels exciting when you're immature, but peace feels priceless when you grow up. And no, we didn't know all of this from the beginning. We learned, we grew, we adjusted, because strong relationships aren't found, they're built. And most people never learn these things. Then wonder why every relationship feels hard. So let me leave you with this. Real love is not doing whatever you want. Real love is protecting what you chose. And those traditional values people criticize, they're not outdated. They're foundational. Loyalty, respect, accountability, boundaries, effort. Those are the exact things that make relationships last. So if you want modern behavior, expect modern results. But if you want something lasting, you need timeless principles. My husband doesn't have to ask me for these things, not because I'm perfect, but because I care. I care about his peace. I care about our relationship. I care about what we're building together. And that's what real love looks like. Not just words, not just feelings, but standards, consistency, and respect.